Construction champions, it's your host, Ron Newsbaum, and we're here for another amazing episode of Construction Champions Podcast, where we're burning the house down twice a week. Every Monday and Thursday, we're lighting that thing on fire, and that thing is your personal life, your business, your relationships, your health, everything around you and how we're going to get you to having that construction business you've always dreamed of and be that champion for the industry. And as always, you guys aren't here to listen to Ron Newsbaum rant about some BS that probably only matters to me. That's why I bring on amazing guests, because that's what you guys are here to learn from the pros, the experts, the movers and shakers in the construction industry. And today is no different. Scott, it is fantastic to have you on the show today.
Awesome. Glad to be here, Ron. Thank you so much. Appreciate the intro.
Awesome, man. And I am looking forward to our conversation. So why don't you introduce yourself to all the construction champions out there listening?
Will do. So, hey, construction pros, my name is Scott Andreasen, and I'm CEO of a company called Excavation Marketing Pros. We're also in the construction niche. We predominantly help excavating and septic companies, but I am well-versed in overall construction. And I got started back working with outdoor construction contractors back in 2009. And I help them with their marketing. We run a business that helps them run premium marketing so they can grow their businesses.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to dive into this today. And without further ado, I'm going to ask the million-dollar question. And that is, what makes a construction champion?
Introducing BuilderComms, the construction communication software that's changing the game. Say goodbye to communication challenges and hello to effortless communication. With BuilderComms, you can communicate with clients, share pictures, videos, and documents, and keep clients informed about the progress of their projects. Get real-time updates, prevent miscommunications and delays, and ensure successful projects. Don't let bad communication ruin your construction projects. Try BuilderComms today. Visit us at buildercomms.com.
Very good question. So in my opinion for this, I know what fulfills me from talking with my clients is when they are getting what they want out of the business and their personal lives. So when they feel like they're reaching their full potential in the business, when they're seeing that growth, when they're getting the high value projects that they've always dreamed about, that's exciting. And it's exciting to be a part of that. And so I think that, you know, what makes a construction champion is being able to provide the best service you can and growing your business and getting the most out of your life and living your own dream life. I guess that would be my answer.
I love it because it's about, we all started our businesses because we had a dream and we had this idea of what life would look like. And that's a lot of times what we lose sight of. And I think something that hit me while you were talking there is like, we're always growing our businesses, but are we growing all the other aspects, our personal life, everything around it? Because it's just like in a business, this it's better than anybody is like, you can grow your marketing, but if you don't grow the rest of the business to sustain that, it's going to be the problem. It's the same thing with developing that personal life. You have to grow everything across the board. You just can't be like one trajectory.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, you know, the thing I talk to a lot of construction contractors and business owners, and the scary thing with growth is the stress that comes with it and how stressful it's going to be to grow. And I get that, but it's more stressful to stay where you're at. And if you're the person doing all the work yourself, rather than have the systems in place and the team behind you. So it's almost like the growth, the success, it just has moments of feeling that angst, But once you get over that little hurdle, you get a little room to breathe, but then there's always a new goal. And so it just kind of keeps going.
Yeah, and it's like we lose sight of all that stuff. Like all the time in construction, I talk to so many guys that they're just like, man, what I really wanted was just some freedom and to control my own time. And then I did the opposite. Like, and that's so standard. And it's those dreams that really, I always say we need to focus on why we started the business because that's how we're going to get to where we want to go.
Yeah, for sure. There's got to be a strong why and a lot of focus. And I think organization is really key too.
Mm.
That again, just having the right systems in place to support growth and seeing the constraints as you do grow that, okay, that's a bottleneck. I need to hire someone or find a way to automate that out. So I don't need to do that anymore because it's creating stress.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And businesses, it's an interesting word that we live in, especially in construction. Like I just wish more guys just treated it as business instead of saying, hey, I'm in construction business. And they would just like, hey, I own a business. Like, and we just happen to do construction work. If we had more of a thought process around that, I think it would save a lot of people a lot of strife and a lot of heartache trying to do what the restraints of the construction industry. And then even when you niche it down even more into you really run into excavation space, there's a standard that you feel like this is what we should be because this is the kind of business we are. But really, you should just be a business that does that. And that's a real mindset shift that has to happen around the industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think on my end, where I can provide the most value for your listeners is by giving them some guidance and things that they can do today to start executing on to bring in more high value customers.
Absolutely.
So I want to share some tips and tricks of things that either they can do themselves or they can hand off to their web guy or their marketing company. And I'm going to be an open book on this just to provide them value so that they can leave this podcast really feeling like they got something out of it. And hopefully, I put together some nuggets that they can take immediately from listening to this podcast and integrate into their business and just get started within minutes.
I love it. My next question was going to be, what are the things that guys can do here to close 2024 out to help set them up for success going into 2024? Because I know you deal a lot in that and helping to create that funner to be able to go out and be highly successful.
Sure. So whether you're chucking a truck or you're running a $3 to $5 million operation plus, the name of the game when it comes to marketing is how do you get your ideal prospect to raise their hand? And then how do you turn them into a cash paying customer? And obviously the one-man band versus the $3 to $5 million company have very different sales systems in place. Okay. The small, the guy with him, maybe it's just him and a crew, how they're going to acquire a customer does not need to be as robust as the $3 to $5 million company. Okay. But the tips, the tricks, the tactics, the principles that I'm going to give you can be integrated by both. And, it's kind of marketing 101, but I did want to sprinkle in just real effective things that you can take right now and just put in your business and see working.
Awesome, man. Let's hear them.
Cool. So we're going to unlock explosive growth for your construction business. These are proven online marketing strategies that are working right now. These are not fluff. This is not theories of, this could work in some other universe. This is stuff that's working right now. Now, for this, I understand I'm talking and people, they might be in an excavator, they might be, out in the field doing stuff. And so what I have done is I put together a checklist and some free resources that they can get on their own. And they can go to excavationmarketingpros.com/champion. Okay, excavationmarketingpros/champion. And the same things that I'm going to talk about right now, there's step-by-step guides and checklists how to do this yourself there. But if we go through it, the first thing that we see is like the hub is what we call it. So the hub would be a website built to convert. And everyone's like, okay, I've had a website. And chances are, if you had a website or you do have a website, it may not have worked at one point the way you wanted. It may not have delivered leads the way you wanted, ranked on Google, stuff like that. So we're going to fix that today. Okay. And what we find, and I've been doing this a long time, right? I've been doing this since 2009. So I'm just going to share with you what has worked for us and our clients in that time. Personalized websites convert. So when I'm talking with contractors and they're like, I'm not getting leads and, my lead doesn't produce any websites, 9 times out of 10, when I go to that website, it's a very vanilla template with stock photos that look stock. You know what I mean? Like you go there, you can see, all right, they got this off of, some stock photo website. You can easily tell that. There's no pictures of the team. The work just doesn't even look right. Like there will be pictures of palm trees in the background and they're in Minnesota. So it's like, no, this doesn't add up. So what we find works best is personalize the site with your team, vehicle wrap trucks, wear the logoed shirts, just have a picture day. You just have to do this one time. All right. So just get the crews together, have a picture day, show off your toys, right? You have the equipment you love. You have your excavators, you have all of your trucks and everything like that. And some of you got them all logoed up, looking sharp. Line them all up, get your crews out there in logoed shirts. And now you're creating a very strong brand that no one else can copy, because people do business with people. They don't do business with companies. All right. So keep that in mind, that we got to make it personal. And the more they get familiar with you and your team, the easier it is to convert. So as I look through sites, that's what I look for is it personalized? Does it talk to your ideal client avatar, or is it very generic? And by client avatar, I mean, like, who's your ideal customer? Are you predominantly serving homeowners, or are you looking to target business to business? Because the wording for those two different types of customers is very different, right? If we're targeting commercial, then you're going to be speaking to superintendents, you're going to be speaking to GCs, you're going to be speaking to architects. You're not going to be speaking the same language as homeowners, right? The next thing is, like, keep the website fresh, and you don't need to like reinvent the wheel, but just run seasonal specials, spring special, summer special, St. Patty's Day special. You get the idea. That's all you got to do, is just change the wrapper each month with some sort of a special to give people a reason to call. Now, the thing with websites, and the reason why a lot of times they don't convert leads, is because they're missing 4 of the key ways that people want to interact with your business. The most common is, of course, pick up the phone and call. But I want you to keep in mind that when you tell people to pick up the phone and call, where's the phone number right now on your website if you look? Do I need to click on the contact page to find it? Do I need to scroll to the bottom to find it? Which, as silly as that sounds, I see that all the time, that you literally have to scroll to the bottom to find the phone number. So what I recommend, and on that link I give you, there is a how to maximize conversions from your website checklist. And one of those things is in the top right corner, just put your phone number in big bold. Okay, step one, basics, right? The other thing is, not all people want to call. As a society, we've changed. We are texters now, right? That's how we like to communicate. So let them know, hey, send us a text, that they can start in the conversation that way, because a lot of times it's easier for people to just text. So that's two. The other two ways would be, some people do not want to call you. They do not want to text. They just want to send an email. So I would highly recommend when they go to the website, right above the fold, have a quote button that pulls up a form or just a contact form to send an email. So that's three. The other thing that I would recommend is web chat. In this day and age, AI chat, if you guys, everyone knows AI now, but they don't realize how easily accessible it is for their business. Use an AI chat tool. You can train it and start collecting leads and qualifying leads on autopilot. And then what the AI chat will do is email you or your team the response from the lead, and you can go over it and see if it's worth your time. So those are 4 ways to make your website convert.
I love it. And I love the fact, so many websites we go on just have stock images. And like you said, it's so easy. It's easy, but it's not. Like I remember trying to rally up 200 people to have a photo day and get a picture of all the trucks and everybody. Like, we're trying to get work done and everything. But once you do it, it's yours, and you can brand, and you don't have to worry about somebody going to a site and seeing the same stuff that's on yours as on theirs back and forth, because there's only so much construction stock image, and let's be honest, 99% of it sucks. So that's even more of a reason to go create your own, take the pictures, and have those assets. Like you said, these are assets you have forever.
Mm-hmm. And you know, the thing about it that I'll add is everyone has something very unique, and that is a smile. Don't forget to smile. People want to see happy people. They want to be around happy people. They want positivity in their life. So that's the only thing I would stress, is that when you take the photos, your team takes the photos, just do one of these. Big smile, big smile. That's going to go a long way.
Awesome. And when it comes to the chats, I love how you break it down, because everybody does want to communicate differently. We have so many different generations, so many different expectations on how people want to initiate that conversation. The AI in the chat box, I think that is a way underutilized tool, because like you said, everybody thinks the barrier to entry is really, really high, but it's not that high to get set up and going. Or just putting your phone number and email address, having that form. I run into guys all the time. They're like, I'm not putting my phone number on my website. Well, why even have a website then if people can't contact you? Like, it's mind blowing.
Well, here's the kicker, is behind the scenes, like some of our clients too, is they don't have time to answer the phone, and maybe they don't have an office person answer the phone. But the technology is there that the phone number does not have to be, and it should not be, your cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our process is, these are very sophisticated phone numbers controlled by AI. So when someone calls in and you miss the call, which might be on purpose or unintentional or whatever, then the system will then immediately follow up to that person with a text message. Hi, sorry I missed your call. How can I help you out? By the way, here's a form if you want to get a free quote. So you never answered the phone at all, but the system detected a missed call and it sends out the lead a message saying, how can I help to get it going? Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's some of that barrier to entry on that technology is very low, but guys don't look at it. They think like it's really super complicated, but it's not to get that stuff set up. I'm pretty sure that's something that you help guys do, correct?
Yeah, we help them do it. I mean, we have our own proprietary system, but there's other ones on Google. You can just, Google AI chat and you'll see a bunch of them that pop up. And the things are actually pretty easy to train. Like you don't need to be a programmer. I know it sounds scary, AI chat, and I don't want to get too stuck on AI chat, but long story short, you should be using it. It's very human-like. In fact, the lead conversions that we're seeing coming from this, that just by putting that on there, we've got one client that's getting an additional 30 leads a month qualified from that if we did not have that on their site, that would be 30 missed opportunities. And it's very human. No one is like, am I chatting with a bot? That's how good the technology is. So yeah, I highly recommend it.
Awesome.
But the next thing on that is like websites, they need traffic. Otherwise, what's the point, right? That it's not going to collect leads if there's no traffic. So what I want to share with your listeners is how to get the website traffic and how to get it to rank. And the first thing here is if they're doing it themselves in-house, or if they're going to a marketing person or a company, then I would ask them this and start inquiring about their process if they're not getting the traffic they want and if they're not getting the rankings. So it's all based around keywords, first of all. So when people are going on Google, they're typing in the services. They're not typing in your company name. That's a big misconception. No one's looking for your company name. They're looking for what they want. They're looking for the services that they want to hire you for. And so the key is you need to show up at the exact moment that people are typing in your services. Okay, so there is an art to that and a little finesse, but I'm going to share with you a free tool that you can use to make sure that you're showing up for the right services you offer. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to AdWords.com. That's Google's website. Okay, that's their AdWords website. And you sign up for free, and you will have to add a credit card, but you don't need to set up a campaign or spend any money. The reason why you would want to do this is because they have a tool there called the Keyword Planner. And what that tool does is it shares with you very valuable information on exactly what people are typing in to find your services. So no matter what service you offer in construction, you can go to that tool and type it in and see variations of how people search. And then there's even a filter. You click on it and you can see top level to low level, what gets the most search volume. So the common sense approach tactic that I recommend you use is target the search keywords for your services that get the most volume. And I'll save you a little time on research. The near me style keywords typically get the most. Not always, but usually. So that would be like excavation company near me, home remodeling contractor near me. You get the idea, because what are your customers looking for? They're looking for someone near them that can do what you do.
Yeah,
So,
and go ahead.
No, that was it.
Oh, I was gonna say is like there is you don't want to get too niche, like you said. Like you want stuff that people are actually going to search. I'm guilty of this as well as many other people, where you put in too specifically what you do, when what you need to do, you need to think like, if you were looking for this service, what would you type in to find it? And if you become very, very niche, like say you're excavating new plumbing lines, you
Mm-hmm.
start becoming too, like, not everybody's typing all of that out, and you're not going to come up in these searches. So you have to go do the research, like what you're talking about, to learn what are people actually searching instead of just guessing or trying to make it as close to what you do as possible.
Yeah. And I think that when your listeners use this free tool, that they're going to be shocked with some of the variations. And I can tell you firsthand experience that the way people search for services means the same thing, but in different geographical locations, they search it differently. I'll give you a case in point is that for our niche excavating, forestry mulching is a very popular service. However, in other parts of the country, they don't call it that. They call it bush hogging. And so if you were to try and rank them for keywords in one part of the country for forestry mulching, instead of using bush hogging, they would literally get no leads because that's not how people search there. Just some food for thought that when they go through this, they need to think locally in their area. And you can always just do a search too. Like if you see something that looks right for your business, Google it where you're at and see if it pulls up your competitors. And then yeah, this is definitely a good fit. And so that's that. And what you do with that is you put those keywords in your page title, the meta description, and your heading tags. And if that sounds like a lot, I do walk through in the link that I mentioned, excavationmarketingpros.com/champion. But you could tell that to your web designer or whoever's handling your marketing, and they'll know what to do. And the next thing is to get website leads, you want to make sure to have that Google business profile, because we do see that still a lot of people go to that and they click through. And so in case you guys don't know what I mean by Google business profile, they keep changing the name every year or so at Google. I don't know why they do that, but it was Google My Business. And then before that, it was Google Places. And the reason why this section is so important is because it's got the 3-pack, which is probably the most desirable section on the page. So you've got the 3-pack, which is only local businesses show up in that section. It's got your customer reviews there. It's got your hours of operation. It shows the number of years you've been in business. It's got the phone number, which is probably the most important thing. And the urgent need construction customer, they're not even necessarily looking for a website to click on, but a number to call to get someone out there for a quote. But the Google business profile also has the website link. And we do see quite a few people still click through to pull up that website and check you out before calling. So I'm going to show you guys, I want to talk to you about how do you optimize this. And the thing with it is when we go in and we optimize Google business listings, we see that they're not optimized. And how do we know they're not optimized? Because Google actually has a thing on there now that says profile strength. And if you see it says low or something like that, if you don't have excellent, it's not optimized. And so you can go through the steps that I'm going to share with you right now on how to optimize it to get it to say excellent. By the way, how are we doing on time, Ron?
Because I'm good, man. We'll just keep rocking and rolling.
Okay. Because I'm going to try to get through as much as possible, give as many nuggets as possible. So I'm going to probably go pretty fast. Okay. But what you can do is you go through the Google business profile and you're allowed to pick all these different kinds of service for any construction business service. They're all there. You want to go through and make sure you pick them all. The other thing you want to do is add in your locations there. Go through all that. The other thing you want to do is add product cards for your services and link them to your website. And what the product cards are, if you're not familiar with that, right below the Google business profile, now they have like a scrolling carousel where you can put images of your work, a description of it, and then a link straight through to your website. that's a real key to get the website to rank. So anyway, you go through all these steps, and then you should, if you go through it all, have a profile strength of excellent. And that's going to help your Google business profile to start ranking higher. And if you select all the right locations, it'll start ranking farther out. Now, not ridiculously. I'll give you a couple points of what I mean by that. Is if you're trying to rank for a city that's, 40, 50 miles away, it's not going to happen. I'm going to share with you another technique on how you can do that. But within 15 miles to 20 miles of your immediate physical location, if you do what I just shared with you, you should be able to start ranking. Another way that you rank that Google business profile and boost your marketing and bring in high value jobs is social proof. And what I mean by that is reviews. And a lot of times when excavation or septic contractors or even my previous legacy clients in construction, if they weren't getting enough leads or quality leads, I would look at their reviews and they either had bad reviews or no reviews, which is just as bad. So what I recommend you do there is treat each and every review like getting a new customer. It's that important, because once you start showing a pattern to the world, to your local area, that we do a good job and can back it up because you see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, over 100 5-star reviews, now you can start commanding a much higher price, because people are much more willing to invest more for peace of mind than to pay too little and get headaches and stress. And so I'll give you a tool that you can use for free. If you go Google search Gather Up Chrome extension, that's Gather Up Chrome extension. You install that on your Chrome browser. You just one click and it installs. It's no big deal. But then you can go to your Google business listing and it will give you the exact write a review link. With that exact write a review link, now you can start texting that to customers, emailing that to customers, and have a more proactive approach. I also recommend you take that review link and turn it into a QR code. Put it on your business card, put it on your invoices, that when you're done with the job, you give it to them so they can scan it and leave a review. And so if you take a more proactive approach with each customer, 9 times out of 10, they're going to leave you a review. All you have to do is ask. And the way you do it, you can say, first off, lead off, how do you feel it went? And if they're like positive about it, then you just say, okay, great. Would you mind sharing your feedback on Google? It would mean the world to us. And as you know, reviews are a major driver of new customers for our business. And so it means so much. And they'll do it. They'll leave you the review. All you have to do is ask.
I love it, man. It is as simple as asking. And a lot of times that's where we don't do that. But when you have a happy customer, what do they want to do? They want to talk about their experience. They want to say that. Same the other way, but we want to make sure that we're making them happy and going and actually asking for those reviews. I mean, that stuff does matter a lot.
Yeah, and you can have the best marketing. You can be showing up everywhere, right? But when they go to research your company and they see poor reviews or no reviews, then you're not going to get the best results. I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
Case in point, we had a client that when they started with us, Dyer Inc., they're a septic company. They had 3 1-star reviews, and they could not get any leads online for obvious reasons, that when people looked them up, it showed 3 unhappy customers. So I'll share with you a little trick, okay, that your listeners can use. Is I said, well, listen, you guys have been in business a long time, right? And she says, yeah, many years. I'm like, so you've got a pretty extensive customer list, right? Yeah, it's all in QuickBooks. Okay, let's get that customer list, let's load it up, and let's start requesting feedback from your customers. Literally, the response within just a couple months was enormous. And they went from having 3 one-star reviews and the worst reputation in their service area to over 50 reviews with a 4.8 rating. And now the leads, they come flooding in because they see the social proof that, okay, they're going to do a good job. And it's especially important too, for all you out there in construction charging, doing high value projects. Right? If they're going to be spending 20, 30, 50, $100,000 or more, that social proof is going to push them over the edge to want to do business with you over the competitor. So that's why I really feel reviews are important for your business.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like, it's the one thought who you're not going, if you yourself, listener here, was going to call somebody to come do something on your house, would you call yourself based off of your reviews? Like, think about that, because
That's a
that,
good way. I never thought of that analogy, but that's like a perfect way to put it. I'm going to have to use that.
well, I mean, it's the truth. Like, because we all do it. I know I don't, like, if I'm whatever and I pull somebody up and they got 3 one-star reviews, I am going to the next company. Like, or if they have no reviews, I'm going to find the company that has at least a couple reviews where somebody says they did a good job. And we all do it, but then we look at our business and we're like, well, it doesn't really matter. It matters more than most people think, just like what you just said. So,
Well, and go ahead, not to cut you. Sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead, man.
Well, I was going to say, and then more often than not, you're giving out a proposal or a quote, and they're going to have a couple other quotes, right? And so it's, what are they looking at? They're looking at price, right? And you need some sort of extra ammunition to push them over the top, so you're not playing the price game. How you beat the price game is with the reputation. That's it. Because people want an expert and they're willing to pay more for an expert. So if I would put that in the proposal as well for those of your listeners who already have those 5-star reviews and that social proof that, if you're on the fence, one more reason why you should choose us is because we have over 100 other happy customers just like you that we helped out. And so if our quote comes in a little higher, hopefully you'll consider this, because it's much better to invest a little more and get that peace of mind than to go with the other guy for a couple thousand less and get nothing but headaches. Just food for thought. Thought I would include that.
Awesome, man. I love it. A lot of fantastic information covered today. You're definitely a wealth of knowledge.
I can keep going, man. I mean, I can fire away. I don't know. I mean, I can do this another 2 hours. So I know
think we'll just have to do another episode together. Leave the listeners in suspense on what else you're going to bring to the table here.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're coming up on 45 minutes. We can keep going, or if you want to call it, we can call it. You know what I mean? I tend to keep going and going and going and going. So
no, I mean, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We got listeners that need to get back to the job site.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks for having me on, everyone. Thanks for listening. And I really enjoyed it.
And
had a lot of fun.
One more time, what was the site?
They can go to excavationmarketingpros.com/champion to get those free resources of everything we talked about.
Awesome. And where's the best places to find you?
Just go to excavationmarketingpros.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to be on the show today. And we're definitely going to have you back for round 2.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, construction champions, another episode in the bag where Scott brought so much value, so much free advice and nuggets on what to do with your business online. Like, super easy stuff that you can start to take action on today. I would say just go back and start listening to it again and get in a position where you can take some action on this stuff, because we don't want you to listen to the show and never take any action. So if you're listening to it and you're like, I should do this, I should do that. Yeah, you absolutely should. But here's what I want you to do is I want you to get on your desktop, pull the episode up either on your phone, wherever you listen to it, online, start listening to it again. And when Scott says, do this, pause it and do it. And then listen some more and then pause it and do it. And don't hesitate to reach out to him, because he's here to help as well. Like, he's on here showing you the pathway, but you might need some help with that pathway. So don't hesitate to reach out to Scott. And Construction Champions, make sure you check out all of our fantastic sponsors. And until next time, be the champion you were meant to be.
Introducing BuilderComs, the future of construction management. Built by industry veterans, our platform simplifies your workflows and boosts efficiency. From field operations to leadership, we've covered it all to help you sleep better and enhance your projects. With BuilderComs, expect reduced errors, save time, and exceptional outcomes. Join the thousands of builders and contractors revolutionizing their processes and achieving greatness. Discover more about us at buildercoms.com.